Let's take a look. Borrow Smart segment brought to you by rsrhomeselect.com, rsrhomeselect.com. So, what are we looking at? We're talking today about debt management and planning for lower mortgage rates. And I've talked to you before about where we forecast rates are going. How do you make use of them? Well, we've got several different tools that we're going to give you today. And Josh will put them on the screen for us as we talk about them. But we're going to talk about our two-step program. And we're going to also talk a little bit about what's your number. And we're going to talk strategy. So what do we mean by all of these things? So first off, let's take a look at what we're looking at for interest rates. Because every year around this time, we start looking and saying, okay, what are interest rates going to do next year? And nobody has a crystal ball and knows with 100% certainty what rates will do. But I'm going to give you some numbers, and we're not just pulling them out of a hat. We have some thought behind where these numbers come from and history. So as you know, I did study economics over at Chapman College. It wasn't the university back then. And we studied the definition as they told us way back then of economics. We study the past to better understand the present in hopes of predicting the future. So let's look at the current situation. We have a Fed funds rate of 4.5 to 4.75. That's where the Fed funds rate is today. There are folks that say we're going to see one more rate cut this year. Maybe, maybe not. I think we probably will. Generally, those are a quarter. Thanks, Ruth. I appreciate it. Great agent in San Diego County checking in with us. Ruth Pugh down there in the San Diego area. Glad to have you with us as well. So here's the issue. We had a fund funds rate of 4.5 to 4.75. Now, historically, we look and say, where are they forecasting? Going to cmegroup.com, and we can say, okay, what are they forecasting the Fed funds rate to be at the end of next year? Now, the Fed funds rate does not drive mortgage rates, but it kind of hints at them. How do we use the data? So we've got if we look at the forecasts, about 60% of the market says we're going to be at 3.75 to 4% or less by the end of next year. Now, we've been running about the 10-year Treasury, we've been running about 0.5% less than the Fed funds rate. So if we look right now, the Fed funds, they say 4.5 to 4.75. Let's go right down the middle at 4.625. Take a half off of that would be 4.125. We're looking at a 10-year Treasury right now at 4.29. So it's a little higher than that half off. So let's say that we are at that 3.75 to 4. Give us a 3.625 is the middle of that. Take a half off of that. And we're looking at a rate of in the range of 3.125. Like I said, we're not quite there right now. So let's say 3.25. Okay, now historically, if we take the 10-year Treasury, and we're forecasting again 3.25, and we say that historically, the 10-year Treasury has a spread to a 30-year mortgage of 1.79. Now, while I'm sitting here on radio right now with you, I'm not going to try and do the math of say 3.25, add 1.79, because two things. Number one, trying to do that math on radio in my head, I'd probably give you a wrong number. And again, most recently, the last couple of years, the spread has been higher than the historic norm. So the spread's been running around 2.25 above the 10-year Treasury, will get us a 30-year fixed rate mortgage approximately. And again, we're talking about for next year. So if I said that we were at 3.25 and we add 2.25, that would be a 5.5% 30-year fixed rate loan for next year. I'm going to say that's probably a little optimistic. I'm thinking probably somewhere closer to 5.75. Okay, so there you have it. My forecast for the end of next year, about 5.75. Now, what does that mean for you today? Well, take advantage of where we are. And how do we take advantage of where we are? Take a look at your current blended household interest rate. Now, once again, Josh, I didn't even give you a heads up on this one. Take a look at rsrlinks.com/3PCT. rsrlinks.com/3PCT. This is a video that we did of a show segment where your 3% mortgage will kill you if you don't take advantage of what I'm going to tell you right now. rsrlinks.com/3PCT. Because I just had somebody over the weekend send me a copy of their mortgage, and they've got a 2.5% mortgage, but we look further and they've got all kinds of credit card debt, auto debt, student loan debt, unsecured debt. What is your blended household interest rate? And more importantly, what is your household debt service? Okay, what is debt service? Is that a technical term? No, it's the minimum payment you have to make on all of your bills every single month to stay current. That's called your debt service. Now, when we take all of that stuff together, you're going to come up with a number. It's going to probably be somewhere between 7 and 10%. Because yes, you've got a mortgage that's under 4. I know that 70% of the people do. But I also know that your credit card bills now are averaging 22.84%. And then we look at what are your unsecured debts, your student loan debts, and your auto loans. And we look at it and we say, we're saving people $400 to $600 a month. Now, it's Thanksgiving time. You're going to buy a family dinner. You cannot go to any grocery store that I know of and pay for your Thanksgiving dinner with 3%. But you can with $400 to $600. Now, what if we save $400 to $600 every single month? And I've seen where we've saved somebody as much as $1,500 per month. Now, I'm not saying go out and blow all that. What I'm saying is you look at a normal interest rate, you look at a current interest rate, and we look and say, okay, what if we can get, and I forgot what Josh told us just a minute ago. I think it was like 7%, 6.8 to 7%, depending on your loan type, is where interest rates are today. Okay, and I'm not giving you APRs, I'm educating you here. So I don't know if you'll qualify for that or you won't qualify for that, but I'm just giving you an education, a philosophy. Now, when we do this whole process, this is what we call the two-step. rsrlinks.com/two-step. Because what we're going to do right now is we're going to get that debt service down as far as we can get it. And we know that when you restructure a loan now, if you've got a lot of debt, your FICO score has not probably been maximized. Because for the most part, most people are not paying your credit card bills the right way. You need to go and do the rsrccpayment.com, rsrccpayment.com. And even if you pay your credit card bills in full every month, 95% of you are still doing it the wrong way for FICO scoring purposes. rsrccpayment.com, we show you the right way to do it. So what is the two-step? We're going to get all these debts in line. We're going to restructure them. We're going to save you probably $400 to $600 a month if you're like most of the people that we analyze, because we are certified liability advisors. We help you build wealth through strategic debt management. So we're going to redo all of that right now. Now, you're going to take part of that $400 to $600 every month and use it as a principal reduction payment, so you're not extending the payment period of your loans. And we're going to look about a year from now, because if my forecast is correct and we come in at that 5.75% interest, you're going to save again. And we're going to do a new loan restructure for you. We'll do a redo, and we're going to look at doing it for free. I don't know if that's going to make the most sense for you or not, because sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But we're going to do it again. And that's why we call it the two-step, rsrlinks.com/two-step. And when you save even more money, we're going to do again the same thing. A portion of that money you're going to get to enjoy, and a portion of it is going to be added to what you've already added in that buy down of your principal and get that mortgage payment paid off as quickly as possible so that we can use that money in more efficient ways. So borrow smart, brought to you by rsrhomeselect.com, rsrhomeselect.com.